start first here with Valentin Virasoro, the in-house manager of Eolo, Patagonia's Spirit. Valentin will share with us some unique remote experiences by presenting a couple of experiences they have for creating special events for their guests. Valentin, welcome. The microphone is yours.
Correct. Well, thank you, Marcelo, Alice, and everyone for being here. It's a pleasure to share today this unique remote experiences in a different place. Yeah. Happily now we are back in business. So since 5 days ago we reopened. So this time to us brings us a lot of positive vibes and good energy, because we have been inactive for many months, like perhaps most of us, and well, I hope not too many now, and everyone is able to go back in business. Yes, and to do whatever we love most, that is creating nice experiences or unique experiences in remote places like everyone in this community. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share some photos. I'm not going to do much of just relating some of the things that makes us special and happy. Yeah. So, well, as inspirational, I would like to share this first image of the lodge. So where we are now, it's set in the middle of the Patagonian steppe. Patagonian is a very mythical region in the world. So everyone who has read some books or has had the chance of dreaming about traveling to nice and unique places will have Patagonia in their minds. Yes. And this is a land of vastness and great extensions, and many people who have traveled around the world will always have on their bucket list Patagonia. So this is the land where we welcome our guests, and is the place where, as we know, they have dreamt about coming to these places many years. We want to create special moments for them. So, well, obviously we are in Argentina. Yes, this is our country, and Patagonia is on the southern tip of the American continent, and it is shared between Chile and Argentina, and has many regions. Yeah. So it has landscapes that go from the sea to the mountains and to the steppe, very plain and jagged mountains, and many different sceneries. In this case, yeah, we are on the southern tip, and if you just step an extra foot out of the continent, you will drop into the Atlantic Ocean and be very close to Antarctica. Okay. And this is specifically more the area where we are. Yeah, Eolo is on a private estancia, very close to Los Glaciares National Park, which is the third biggest mass of ice in the world after Antarctica and Greenland. So we are quite isolated from the main town, which is El Calafate, and we're very close to the glaciers. Yes. This is specifically the setting. Yes, this is one of the settings that we use mainly to create this unique experiences for our guests. Yeah, there's a lagoon very close to where we are, and there's most of the times we have this big herds of pink flamingos. So this gives us a chance to create some romantic and unique moments and experiences. Yes. And for being on this private land gives us the possibility of having being completely alone, mainly. Yeah. This is also a very inspiring photo. Sunsets and sunrises in Patagonia are very inspiring. Yes, and the colors that you can see here are moments that remain in the guests' experiences, because so this thing happen, and people are perhaps indoors because obviously outside can be a little bit windy and cold, but when indoors and when being indoors and enjoying this kind of views, perhaps doing some special celebrations can make them, take memories for life. Yeah. Well, another view of, and this, in this case, of a very close nearby national park, which is Torres del Paine in Chile. And from Argentina and from Eolo specifically, we have this view of this very close nearby national park in Chile. So this also gives perhaps the possibility of sharing and being very, very close to same experiences on the Chilean side. These are our main common areas, and well, unluckily we couldn't change the views, so we tried to make them even nicer, but this is the best we could do. So but honestly, this is the real views that we can get from our main seating area. And each time that we welcome guests and they walk into this living room, it's like they awe completely, and it's a moment which gives us a lot of joy. I've been working in Eolo for almost 15 years now as an in-house manager, and every day I can enjoy these views, and I know that it will never be disappointing. It will always be ever changing, and you will never get tired of enjoying this kind of views. This is a view of one of our nicest rooms, which have like two different perspectives of the mountains, the lakes, and the steppe. Yeah. And our main dining room also. Food in Eolo is very important, so people come to Argentina for many reasons, and obviously the food and the beef and the lambs in Patagonia are part of also their experience. Yeah. So the food is also one of the highlights in Eolo. And this is our chef, Juan Pablo, who has been working with us for many years, for like 6 seasons now. And it also helps us bring beautiful experiences for our guests. And the beef, obviously, yes. If you come to Argentina, or if you go to Brazil as well, you will be willing to try these things. As a way of recreating the story of the first pioneers who came into Patagonia, early 1900s, late 1800s, this mainly British, Scottish, Irish. So these typical English or high tea moments are also part of our way of sharing the legacy and the traditions of Patagonia. And besides that, in Argentina, we drink mate permanently. So besides the English high tea, we will always love to share the tradition of the mate in Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay, Chile, which is very strong. But well, unfortunately now on this new times, pandemic new times, we will not be able for a couple more months, years, or whoever knows when it will happen again. But the idea with the mate is that it's like a communion. It's like smoking the pipe of peace eventually, but we drink from the same cup, and we share it like a community or in a group of friends. So this has always been a very nice way of recreating our Argentinian traditions. Yes. So hopefully we will be back soon, able to share mate with friends and families and guests from all over the world. At the moment, what we will do is each one will have its own, and we will cebar, which means prepare the mate for individuals in the end. Yes. And then also the lamb in Patagonia, these kind of barbecues that we do with the lambs, which is one of the most typical ways of cooking the lamb, which takes almost 4 to 5 hours to cook the lamb. And the meat tastes very, very different to whatever Australians, New Zealanders, or even British are used to, because this sheep, they breathe freely in this open steppe, and they eat this kind of grass that grows in Patagonia, which has a very like a sour taste and gives the meat a very special flavor. And as the sheep walk along this open spaces, the meat doesn't have too much fat, so it makes it even more tender and more tasty. As well, the wines in Argentina, of course. Yes, so in a wine cellar, we are able to show them the different regions in which we grow vineyards, and obviously the Malbec is the highlight, and it's the main grape that people come to Argentina to try. But we have very, very good wines, obviously, and people come here for these streets. And as a way of relaxing after many days of outdoors activities, and after I'm going to show you a few of the highlights of the area in terms of nature. We also have a relaxed area where people obviously come for hot tubs and massages and sauna. Okay. And these are the kind of activities that you can do outdoors. So horseback riding, trekking, mountain bike riding, and obviously visiting the national park. So this is the kind of things that also gives us a chance to do unique experiences for guests. Yeah. And finally, our major attraction, the Perito Moreno Glacier, which is a natural heritage of UNESCO, and it's part of the Southern Continental Ice Field, which is the third biggest mass of ice in the world after Antarctica and Greenland, as I mentioned in the beginning. This glacier, which has almost the size of the city of Buenos Aires and can have up to 3 million people living on it if it were livable. But anyway, it's one of the few glaciers in the national park which is stable. It means it's fortunately not receding, even though we know the effects of global warming. But in terms of this special part of the world, weather conditions create and create a balance between the ice that accumulates and the ice that is loosened from the front. So it's still one of the few areas in the world where glaciers are luckily still stable. So hopefully it will stay for more generations ahead. On this glacier, you can also walk. So with crampons on your feet, you can take excursions and walk on one of the slopes of the glacier and do navigations to enjoy the walls, which can be up to 60 meters high. And there's always huge calvings and pieces of ice or chunks of ice that fall from the front of the glacier and create a huge noise that, well, resembles like bombs exploding, but it's also beautiful to sit in front of the glacier and listen in silence to the sounds of silence. Correct. So, well, given all this introduction, one of the things that we enjoy the most is creating special moments to a guest. So each time that we get a special request from agents or couples or families or whoever, this is the kind of things that we try to do most, and that we enjoy the most. So we have done a few people who have engaged in on top of the glacier and or in the middle of the steppe. So we love helping couples or families or friends who have this kind of specific requests, and we're always willing to create this kind of experiences. So this would be some surprise that we will do for couples in this case, and who have perhaps the intention of getting engaged or celebrating an anniversary out in the wild or in the middle of nature. Yes. And well, these happy moments like this one are the ones that well, fills us the most. Yes. And last, and to finish and to let my other colleagues show their experiences, this was one of my biggest treats, specifically because 2 years ago, before the pandemic, we had the chance of welcoming one of our first celebrities and ever in the world. So this is Scarlett Johansson. Yes, the Black Widow. So she came with her husband at that time, and she didn't know anything. I mean, she came alone without anyone knowing that she was coming to Patagonia. So we prepared a beautiful lunch after she had finished horseback riding in the middle of the steppe with our chef and part of the staff. So just to share with you that this is the kind of things that we can do on at Eolo in the middle of nature and back at the end of the world. Okay. So hope you enjoyed it. Yes. And I was a little bit nervous, but hope it didn't show.
You did well, Valentin.
Thank you, Alice.
So
I haven't
much.
done any, in this 20 months in pandemic, I haven't done any of the presentations. So I thought, to finish our pandemic, this would be perfect to do it. These virtual tours are obviously something that kept us alive during this many months, but now that we are back in action, I'd rather do more personal. So I think everyone will agree on that.
Of course. Thank you
Yes.
so much. I mean, I was definitely hungry and very much inspired by your presentation. I just wanted to place a question here,
of course,
on behalf of our team. At the starting of your presentation, we saw some stunning views, right? And I just wonder, in terms of emotions, right? Because when we talk about bringing and tailor-making experience for the guests, as a result, it's definitely emotion to it, right? So we know how that works. And I just have a question regarding how do the guests usually feel, if you have any story, anything you witnessed in terms of emotion that rises from these stunning views.
Yes, indeed. Like, we have had many people who have left the hotel with tears on their eyes, you know, feeling like they were torn apart and that they had part of their heart which was still here. And yes, you know, in my case, I have had, you know, very warm heart hugs, and yeah, so I've created a lot of bonds with many guests who have stayed here, and this feeling of awness, like, you know, each time you walk into a place and you have the views, it's like it's very relaxing. Yeah.
Thank you, Valentin. Yeah, I imagine that as in-house must have seen, experienced many nice stories, countless nice stories, emotional stories.
Yes.
In the presentation, you didn't look nervous at all. It was great. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now we have sorry to interrupt you, Cel. We have a 1 minute time if you can wrap up the question here from Eli, who's a travel designer, a member of us. She just wants to know about the food, about how do you deal with vegetarianism? Because also always a deal. And if the food is included and the drinks, and how does the food theme works? Very briefly, please, Valentin.
Of course, yeah. We will always adapt to special requests and to dietary restrictions, so that is perfectly normal with us. Our program includes all meals and all drinks, soft and alcoholic drinks. So our program will include everything, and we will, you know, with the images that I shared, perhaps show you a little bit of the gastronomy that we offer to people who stay with us. So it's high end. It's quite high cuisine. So yes, so the food and the wines and everything will have to be, you know, from premium to high. Yeah. Correct. Thanks.
Thank you.